Hi, and welcome to this next lesson, this one being on communication styles in the workplace, your style, and working with others. Now, all of these styles fall into one of four quadrants on axes that go from high to low self-disclosure and from high to low in seeking feedback. So we have in the low quadrant of each of those the closed style, and this is low in self-disclosure and low in seeking feedback. So the closed style does very little self-disclosure. They tell you very little about themselves. They don't offer many of their own viewpoints, their opinions, their thoughts, their feelings. They're not terribly revealing about what's going on with them, what they're thinking, personal information about themselves, anything like that. And likewise, they ask for very little information from you. So they don't want to hear about your thoughts. They don't want to hear about your opinions or viewpoints or ideas or personal information from you either. Closed style communicators tend to be very safety seeking. They're afraid of being blamed or looking stupid. They rarely take risks, and they make decisions by the book. And if you don't know what that expression is, by the book, that means that they make decisions based on policy, official procedures, anything that is officially written down or a kind of sanctioned way of doing things by upper management. So they don't want to be the one who makes decisions themselves. They don't want to take a risk of a decision that they make kind of blowing up on them. So they will typically always go back to anything that's been sanctioned by upper management or is in some written policy or procedure. They like to work by themselves. They they like to work independently. They're not terribly good at team projects. They don't like their work to be interdependent with other people. And so we say the closed style at their best, they're very productive if they're left alone. So they want to be left alone in their own office, their own cubicle. They're people that are very good at working from home. So they typically can be very productive if they have a job in which they can just kind of work independently of other people. If they are your boss and you like to be left alone, guess what? They will probably leave you alone. A closed style communicating boss will give you lots of freedom, won't be in your face, won't be bothering you all the time, because likewise they don't want you bothering them. Now the downside of that is, that sounds pretty good, right? A boss who leaves you alone, but the downside of that is, keep in mind, they will not take risks. So any ideas that you have, that you come to them with, and you want to do something a little bit differently, they're not going to be down for that, because that's not the approved policy or procedure from upper management. So they don't give you that kind of freedom, but they leave you alone. Closed at their worst. They are much more concerned with security than risk, and anytime you want to deviate from the approved way of doing things, the closed style communicator is not happy with that. They can be difficult to know. They can seem non-communicative and aloof. Now, they may not be in life in general, they may not be with their family and friends, but at least in the workplace, as I said, they like to work independent of other people. And so they don't appreciate you just stopping by their cubicle and shooting the breeze and wanting to get to know them. They want to come to work, put their heads down, do their jobs, and go home, and communicate with as little people as possible usually. If you feel like you work with a closed communicator, the best thing to do is to not overpower them or threaten them or be too in their face all the time. Try not to ask them a lot of questions. If the close communicator, especially is your boss, they don't appreciate your interruptions. They don't appreciate, even if they come in the form of emails, they don't appreciate you having to bug them with questions. So ask other coworkers if you can. Don't make waves. They don't appreciate drama. They don't appreciate you going in and venting to them. They don't appreciate you, giving them status updates every 10 minutes. And also, don't expect them to seek you out and give you pats on the back, because a closed communicator just rarely does that. And also, don't expect them to express their needs or wants. They're not likely to. It makes it kind of hard to know sometimes what they want. Here's the deal: if you want to know what they want, go to the book, go to the policy, go to the procedure, go to whatever is approved by upper management, because trust me, that's what the closed communicator is going to want you to do. If you go to them and ask them, what do you want, what do you need, they're just going to repeat whatever it is that upper management wants to begin with. So they're not very forthcoming. And again, because they don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to say something that's going to turn out to be wrong. So they typically won't give you a lot of direction. And if you use technical jargon as a part of your job, but you think that this closed communicator, be they a customer, be they a boss, a colleague, if you think that they don't understand that, if there's any chance, let me say, that they don't understand that technical jargon, don't use it, because that will intimidate them or frustrate them, and they won't ask you what it means. They won't pause you or stop you and say, I don't know what that means. The hidden style. The hidden style is low in self-disclosure and high in seeking feedback. Okay, so closed was low, low. Hidden style is low self-disclosure, high in seeking feedback. So I have the picture there of a guy who's masking his face, and that's a good kind of visual metaphor for the hidden style communicator. They will smile to your face, but you don't know what's going on behind the mask. They give the appearance of being friendly. They don't like conflict. They tend to handle conflict situations in that they give in or that they joke around. And they agree with other people. In fact, that's what they do. They appear very agreeable. They don't share their own viewpoints or opinions, but they'll ask for yours. They'll ask you what you think. They'll ask you what you need. They'll ask you if you like something. But they want to be accepted, and they want people to like them. So they have a tendency to not want to disagree with anybody, so they just kind of go along. The hidden style at their best, well, they are typically very well liked because they're always agreeable and nice to everybody, and they seem really interested in you because they're always asking you, your opinion about things. They are good listeners, and they do tend to make for a harmonious office because they want everything to be kind of smooth sailing. At their worst, now, if you might be saying suspicious of others, why would hidden be? But think about it. If I'm hidden and I'm smiling and nodding at someone that I don't like and that they're saying something that I disagree with, okay, I know that I do that. I know that I agree with things that I don't really like, and I know that I smile at people that I don't really like. Wouldn't I think that other people would do the same thing? Wouldn't I assume sometimes that, or be suspicious that if you're smiling at me, it doesn't necessarily mean you like me, and if you're agreeing with me, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like my idea? So, because hidden does this, it makes them suspicious that other people do it too. They can be seen as two-faced because they might agree with person A, who says that they like an idea, and then turn around while they're talking to person B and say, who doesn't like the idea, and say, oh, I don't like it either. And then person A and person B talk about it, and they discover that you have agreed with each one of them. That makes you appear two-faced, or the hidden style appear two-faced. So, in their quest to get along with everybody, sometimes they find themselves just kind of going along with whoever they're talking to, and trying not to make waves, and then wind up looking like they are talking out of both sides of their face. Oftentimes hidden people can be seen as a yes man. If you don't know this expression, this is somebody who always agrees with the boss or upper management. So whatever the boss is saying, they say, yes, I agree, or yes, what a good idea, or yes, I think that's wonderful. And so that person is seen as a yes man, someone who's kind of sucking up to the boss, kind of kissing up. And hidden also at their worst, they are not the most valuable people to have on your group or team, because they're sort of followers. They'll go along with what everybody else kind of ideas and opinions, but they won't contribute their own. And so you lose their creativity, and you lose their viewpoint, and you lose their critical thinking, because they won't go up against anybody. They don't want to try to trump somebody else's idea, or tell somebody else their why they think their idea is better. If you feel like you're dealing with a hidden communicator, you might play politics, and they might play politics, so you won't always know where you stand with them. It's hard to know where you stand with them. They will smile at you and nod, and seem very nice, but then turn around and not go with one of your ideas, and you don't know why. So you don't know where you stand. You don't know what they really are thinking, and that can be very frustrating. Keep in mind, if the hidden communicator is your boss, they are typically well liked. So they do listen well, and you feel like you can go to them and talk to them. You won't know what they think about what you say, but they do listen. Remember that they're seeking approval. So if they are your colleague or your boss, show them how your work or your contribution will bring them recognition. Assure them that you don't want their job, and again, if this is a boss or a colleague, and be very tactful with confrontations. They don't like conflict. They will avoid or give in. And so if you feel like you need to confront them about something, don't do it in a very assertive or especially aggressive kind of way, because you won't get anywhere with that. All right, the blind style. The blind style is the opposite of hidden. Whereas hidden was low in self-disclosure and high in seeking feedback, the blind style is low in seeking feedback and high in self-disclosure. The blind style is oftentimes can seem very overconfident, even bossy. They believe that they are always right. They view conflict as a win-lose situation, and they will be confrontational, and they do want to win. So they are not afraid to speak their mind. They will tell you exactly what they think. They will tell you whether they disagree with you. They will tell you what their ideas are. They will tell you what they think of your ideas. But they don't ask much of you. In fact, sometimes it's hard with a blind style communicator to get a word in edgewise. They won't ask you your ideas. They won't ask you your thoughts and opinions or what you need. They'll just tell you what they think and tell you as if they're right. And because they do always believe they're right, they typically want to make all the decisions, or they think their decisions or ideas are the best. The blind style at their worst, they are at their best, I should say. They are willing to express their thoughts and needs. Unlike hidden, where you don't know where you stand, with blind, you'll always know where they stand. You'll always know where you stand. You'll always know exactly what's on their mind. They can be very loyal, well organized, dependable, and productive and capable. There's a reason why they think that they're so right, is because a lot of times they have had success and at least are quite competent in the workplace. The blind at their worst, they can be demanding, impatient, and because they are so low in seeking feedback, they are very poor listeners. They insist on having their way, and if you have a blind style subordinate, it's going to be very hard to do performance evaluation, because it's very difficult for blind style to accept any criticism of their work or any disagreement with them. If you think you have a blind communicator that you're working with, especially if it's your boss, take his or her criticism well, and accept the orders that they give you. Remember, they think they're always right. Now, when it comes to performance evaluation, here's the thing. If it's just their opinion, don't argue with them. There's no point in arguing with their opinion, because actually, when you argue with a blind communicator about their opinion, it actually makes them more entrenched in their evaluation or their assessment. It makes them dig in a little bit more. But if you think that there is something factually incorrect with their assessment or their evaluation, particularly if it's your performance evaluation, then don't confront them right there face to face. The best thing to do here is to go back, get the facts collected up together, get hard written evidence of the facts, send them to them in an email, and say, I was concerned in my evaluation that you did not have all of the information that you needed to make a complete evaluation. Here is some more information. I would like for you very much to look at this and see if this warrants a revised evaluation. That's probably the best way to deal with that. And again, you have to have some hard evidence there to put together, and it has to be factual. So, and then you're going to use very soft language and say, you did not have the information to make a complete evaluation. Does this warrant revision on your part? So those kind of things. Don't say you want it corrected, because that's like saying that they were wrong in the first place. Given proper respect, and let your blind communicating boss feel that he or she is in control. Follow appropriate hierarchy channels, and this goes for whether or not the blind communicator is your colleague, your customer, your boss. Typically, blind communicators are very into the hierarchy, and especially if they're at the top of the hierarchy. Remember, blind communicators are supremely confident, so appeal to their confidence by saying things like, I need your help, or I need your opinion on this. That's how you get them to contribute to your ideas. And because they do tend to be so organized, they're typically very punctual themselves, and so they see when you're turning things in late. And again, this is whether it's a colleague or a customer or a boss, that is an insult to them. To you, it doesn't have anything to do with them, but to them, it's they see it as kind of a insult to them when you are not punctual on things. All right, open style. Now, in a communication class, I would not be surprised if many of your guys' either primary or secondary style was open. When you took the inventory, you likely came up with the highest number score that you had was your open style. Your second highest score that you had was your secondary style. Did I say open? Your highest score was your primary style. Your second highest score was your secondary style. And I'm not talking right here. And the reason why both of those styles are important is because in your primary style, that's the style that you use in an ideal situation. Your secondary style is the style that you fall back on in a situation that is stressful, that has high tension, or in conflict. And that's, so I'm not surprised in a communication class that many students test either open style for either their primary or their secondary. And that stands to reason, because if you're an open style communicator, you would be attracted to communication classes. I mean, think about it. So it's not unusual in a communication class for me to have a whole lot of open style communicators. You probably listening to this had open style as either your primary or secondary. So, that's, not unusual for a communication course. Maybe some other majors, I don't know, has more closed people in it, maybe. But open style is the opposite of hidden, opposite of closed. Sorry, open style is the opposite of closed. So closed is low and low, open is high and high. So high in self-disclosure, high in seeking feedback. The open style is motivated by a real respect and liking of other people. The open style at their best. They are accepting of criticism, and they are careful listeners. They are willing to share their feelings and knowledge. They are flexible in meeting the needs of others. And at their worst, and that's the thing. You might be saying, okay, open style sounds like it should be used all the time, right? It should be used in every work environment. It should be used with every colleague. It should be like the style that everybody kind of, wants to be. But actually, there are situations when people would not want to be open, or their open style is not the best. Open styles will be very frustrated in a non-open work environment. Open styles have a tendency to kind of freak out the other styles. Imagine you're an open style communicator and you have a closed style boss. Is it best for you to use your open style with the closed style boss? Probably not. Because you're always wanting to go and talk to them about everything and sharing your ideas and asking their idea, and they don't want to communicate in that way. So open style, while seemingly ideal, is not necessarily ideal in every situation and with every colleague. So you want to make sure that you're using a style that kind of fits your workplace and also adapting to sometimes the needs of your colleagues. Be open and honest if you're dealing with an open style communicator. Examine all sides of an issue. Open style communicators tend to want to, dissect something and analyze something and talk it through. Share your feelings and opinions. Okay. Accept shared responsibility. And listening carefully to their needs and wishes. So an open style communicator, whether it's talking about a customer or a boss subordinate kind of relationship, they like to kind of look at things and each person take responsibility for their part in it. Open communicators, like I said, are both high in self-disclosure but also high in listening and seeking feedback. So this is kind of, think about how your primary and secondary style work. Keep in mind your secondary style is the one that you fall back on in times of stress or tension or conflict. And so knowing this about yourself and knowing this about your colleagues can help you, because remember, the best communicator is one that adapts to their audience. So You don't necessarily have to force your style on other people. It doesn't mean you have to change who you are, but you don't have to force your style on other people. You can adapt to the style of your colleagues, your bosses, your customers, and it doesn't mean you're changing who you are. It means as an effective communicator, you are adapting to your audience, which is, probably one of the first things you learned about being a good communicator is their ability to assess an audience and adapt to their audience.